Hey guys, hope you're doing well, staying healthy. I wanted to touch base with you about how we're gonna do your Chordate timeline moving forward since we don't have those giant pieces of paper with us and we're gonna be working more virtually with our partners and that kind of thing. I wanted to show you what I put together to kind of still get that taken care of. So we're gonna do it in Google Slides. You're gonna use all the information that you've gathered and hopefully turned in by now. And so I've put together kind of a little template here to help guide you through your creation of this. So be sure on the first slide, and I don't care if you change the theme and make it exciting and pretty, that is totally fine with me. But on the first slide, make sure you have your name or names if you're working with a partner. Other thing is, if you are working with a partner, make sure you divide the work equally or do it together, double check each other's work. I will be watching with revision history. I can see kind of how much everybody's putting in effort wise. So make sure that you are doing that equally to be able to get the an equal grade. So I put a little instruction slide here. It's a little bit basic, but most of the instructions are actually on the assignment in Google Classroom. But what you're going to do with your slides is the first slide is going to be the oldest or the earliest chordate in the fossil record. And then the last slide will be the most recent either chordate in the fossil record or extinction, or whichever one is most recent, whichever event or organism is most recent. And don't forget about the other three organisms that I asked you to look up and research, and that was the lungfish, Archaeopteryx, and Tiktaalik. So those also need to be included in there, in addition to your mass extinctions and all the other subphyla, superclass, classes, that kind of thing. So basically what you're going to make sure to do is to have everything in chronological order from oldest to most recent. And then I put in a few slides to help you guys get started. The first one, I went ahead and gave it to you there, is subphylum Chordata will be the first slide that you have. You'll need to put in what year you found was the oldest in fossil record, so that's a million years ago. And remember, you'll probably find different answers to that question, but make sure that you found at least 2 or 3 resources that are reliable that agree or at least in the same range. So if you find a range of, say, 10 million years, it's okay to put that. And then you have to let me know if it's extinct or not, and then some examples of animals from the subphylum. I would say as you get to classes, even in the classes, you can give me more than one example, and I think that's helpful. And then, of course, you're going to want to include an image. I know some of you are probably drawing your images, and if you've already started on that and we're doing that, you can just take a picture of that drawn image and insert it if you want to do it that way. Or you can find images on Google Image and that kind of thing to put there. So that's going to be your first slide. And then I gave you an example of a slide that you would use for a mass extinction. So you should have 5 of these total. So you're going to put the name of the mass extinction because they all have a name. And don't forget to use the resource that I posted for you underneath the assignment on Classroom. Because it does give you all of the information in one place. And so you're telling me when it occurred, what caused the extinction, and what were the major animals that died off during that extinction event. And so again, that's all in that resource that I gave you. And I've said add an image here. You can find an image of maybe some of the organisms that went extinct or what the land looked like during that time. But add something here to make it visually pleasing. Okay. And then I gave you 3 different slides, one for lungfish, one for Archaeopteryx, and one for Tiktaalik to add your information there. Remember, you are going to have to move these around to make sure that they are in the correct chronological order. Okay. So you're going to add in when it appeared in the fossil record and why it's significant. So we talked about this in class a little bit, where these are all examples of transitional forms. So basically what they do is they link two different groups of animals together. They allow us to see kind of the timeline visually. So they have characteristics of one type of organism as well as characteristics of the other type of organism. And so they show a link. Okay, so that's going to be where your significance falls. But what you're going to want to tell me there is which two types of organisms does it link. Okay, and then add an image. There's plenty of images of these guys out there. And again, I just put these three in there so you wouldn't forget to do them. Make sure that you have everything in chronological order. And so you can just make a copy, 5 copies of the mass extinction slide, and then however many copies you need for all your subphyla, your superclass, and then all your classes. Okay, so I hope that helped to clarify that, but if for some reason you have questions, I am available. So please send me a remind message, an email, whatever you need to do. And if anybody wants to set up like a chat, or if you have several of you kind of want to get together and do a little meeting, we can do that too. So just let me know what you need. I am here. Oh yeah, and I was going to show you, don't forget on the Chordate Timeline assignment in Google Classroom, here is where you should be completing and should have turned in already your planning document, which is right here. And then don't forget that this right here is where you will find all the information about all the extinctions. You basically just click on the extinction and it gives you everything that you need to know and answer for your project. So let me know if you have questions. Good luck. That's what we'll be working on this week. And then next week we'll get into some new material, more specific about not just chordates in general, but specific superclasses and classes within that. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Hope you're doing well. Let me know what questions.